The Focus First software operates in a simple three-step process. You're going to first do the search for the data. You're then going to download that search. Then you're going to open it using the Focus First software to create the graphs and create your CMA or real estate reviews. Now, to do that, again, you're going to your MLS, do your search, download that file, and then when we open the software, let's talk about how the software works to open the information and then how you would navigate the controls. To open your saved export, you're going to click the Start Here button here on the top. Now what you'll notice is there's a buttons up here in this Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and these ribbon control buttons are going to how you're going to operate most of the controls of the Focus First software. However, there's also tabs on the bottom and a couple other things that will show up as we go through this. So let's walk through each of these areas just to understand the controls of that. First though, I'm going to click Start Here, and this is going to let me open up a search window to find where I exported my data to. In this case, it's right here. Once I do this, you'll see that a box pops up that helps me name the search correctly. I'm going to click Done. And now this opens up already finished. You'll notice that we see the real estate review report when we upload the data. That's because it's the first button here in the ribbon control. Again, this opens up different areas as we go through. So the ribbon control, if I click on patterns, will take me to the patterns area, pricing to the pricing area, positioning to the positioning area. So these four buttons here at the top really are your navigation. Now under real estate reviews, you'll notice if I click on the real estate reviews button, I'll have the customize reviews button that opens, and the graph here on the main area. Under patterns, if I go to the patterns area, I obviously have the patterns graph that opens, and on the bottom you'll see these tabs. Now these tabs allow me to switch between the other patterns graphs, such as the time to close graphs and the buying pattern. On the bottom right, there's a plus sign here that will allow me to zoom in if I want to get a better look, or zoom out if it's already close in enough. When I go to the pricing area here, you can see that we have two tabs, one that shows the data sheet here and one that shows the pricing scattergram. And if you make additional scattergrams, you'd have other tabs down here just showing you all those. So remember, the top area is the ribbon you navigate to get to that area, in this case pricing, and then all the graphs are along the bottom on the tabs. The same goes for positioning. When I come here, you'll see I have, in this case, I have a pawn that shows up, the active data sheet, and other graphs that would be enabled. Now, that being said, you'll notice that on the positioning here and the pricing, we have controls up top here that are not showing on other options. The reason for these is these controls all operate with the data sheet. So the data sheet itself can be used just like a normal spreadsheet. You can come in here, you can type in it, you can delete things or fix errors. You can select boxes on the right side here by right-clicking them, and then unselect them by right-clicking again. Or you can use the controls up top to do some of this same functionality. So for example, if I wanted to select this property to add the text box to the scattergram, I can have this selected and click the Select Properties button up here. If I wanted to unselect it, I can click Unselect Properties. Simple as that. Now one other thing to note on that is if you notice if I click on a box and click Select or Unselect, it just unselects or selects that box. If you click anywhere else in this spreadsheet, whether it be list price, the style, the price per square foot, or the address and click this, it will select all three boxes or unselect all three boxes at the same time. So just be wary of that if you were trying to add the property but didn't want a text box. Click on the box here and then select the Select Properties option. Now if you didn't want to have all this extra information here and wanted to kind of hide it, you can do that very simply by saying Show Selected Properties, meaning only the selected properties would be shown. But if you want to show them all again, you can click Show All Properties. This control here allows you to add a user property, to be able to add your subject property for the address, or if there's a for sale by owner or something else that you know is coming out soon that was pitched maybe at your office's meeting, you can add that information by adding this property, and then you'll have a blank one here that you can type into the spreadsheet. So again, these ribbon controls up here that are new allow you to access and change data on the data sheet. And that works both with the pricing and the positioning. In this case, I haven't uploaded positioning data yet, and that's why there's not that much here. Now to upload positioning data, all we have to do is click this upload POS or positioning data, and we can do that here very simply. And this is where you're going to be uploading that competition, usually in a price range in a larger buyer zone. So in this case, you're going to probably title this as far as price range, price range. And maybe I said this was in southeast area of this city. And now what you'll find is we're going to have a lot more data on that data sheet because we're looking at the active competition, not necessarily just what's sold in the past. Again, now we have a positioning scattergram for the positioning data and the pond, and we're navigating between those using the tabs here on the bottom. So remember, ribbon takes you to the area, tabs take you between the graphs. Now, when we have this open, we have these other data sheet controls, as well as this new button that's the Create Graph Options button. Again, that's on the positioning here, or on the pricing data sheet. This is where you're going to find a lot of controls that help you either clear the data you selected, select data based on different premises, or when you create a graph to decide what the x-axis is that we're talking about, whether it be total square feet, finished square feet, etc., and adding different things automatically to the text box so you don't have to type as much of that in. So if I wanted to go ahead and do this, let me go ahead and cancel for 1 second. And let me add some text boxes to this scattergrams to show you what this looks like. Select properties, create a graph, and I'm just going to have the address and the finished square feet here, and I'm going to create this graph again. Now I'm going to go ahead and keep both just to show you how to navigate between graphs here. Because you can see now I have 2 tabs at the bottom. There's the PRC or pricing scattergram, and then the pricing scattergram 1, which is just the second one of that. And now you see I have text boxes on here. Now when you have a graph open with text boxes, you can go ahead and move these by clicking not once, but twice, and then dragging the box wherever you would like to. As long as you see the white squares, it will let you move this box and have a leader line attached to the dot that represents the home sale. So there are some on-graph controls as well about moving these text boxes around, or if you wanted to add more information to it, you can click on the text box and you can type in here and say something that maybe might make sense to go ahead and put in there. For example, this one might have been a foreclosure, which is why it is so far below the line. That's the kind of information that you can put in here that you would really want to take advantage of. So those are the basic controls of the software. Again, switching between areas here, and then switching between the graphs by clicking on the bottom along the tabs. Now some of the other buttons on here in the ribbon, you'll see we have the FHFA graphs, the printing graphs, the Focus First pricing help, and some settings. Now there's other tutorial videos going into how to actually use those. But I just want to make you understand really quickly that by clicking some of these buttons, you will open up a new web page that takes you elsewhere. So for example, if you're having trouble with the controls, one thing I recommend doing is clicking this question mark here, which will open up the web page which takes us to the online user guide. Now this online user guide is a very simple thing to walk through to help you understand how to use the controls to accomplish the tasks you wish with the graphs. When you come here, you can see that this is the home page, which can always be brought back by clicking the index button here. As you come down, you might want to look at how to use the patterns area. This will talk about using the tabs on the bottom, as well as understanding some of the graphs. To come back to that home page, you click the index button, and it brings you right back here where you can, again, walk through this whole process. So that's how you're going to use the software. That's how you're going to really understand the controls. Now, as far as understanding how to use the software to create reviews and understanding the process of that, continue watching the tutorial videos, as well as check out your master classes that are included with your subscription.